Amid ongoing controversy over censorship, the mayor of Busan says he will step down from his position as chairman of the Busan International Film Festival. U.S. President Barack Obama has signed into law new sanctions on North Korea to curb Pyongyang's nuclear and missile programs. And complaints over Chinese tourists in Seoul who disregard no smoking zones are on the rise. I'm Chance Dorland, and this is your Korean news update for Friday, February 19th, brought to you by Korea FM in association with the Korea Observer. For more independent news and talk radio podcasts, and a 24-hour stream of musicians from the Korean Peninsula, subscribe to the iTunes Store with your favorite Android application or visit koreafm.net. Busan Mayor Seo Byung-soo says he will step down from his position as chairman of the Busan International Film Festival amid ongoing controversy over censorship. The Korea Times reports the mayor's exit will likely lead to a private sector candidate to assume the top post at Asia's most influential film festival. Seo Byung-soo says he decided to resign as it seems that the city's affiliation with the film festival damaged its independence, and comes amid prolonged protests from the film industry over the city's supposed regulation and taming of the festival. Mayor Seo has sparred with the film festival's organizational committee since 2014, when the city requested the cancellation of the screening of The Truth Shall Not Sink with Sewol, a documentary film that was critical of the government's response to the Sewol ferry sinking that resulted in the death of more than 300 people. U.S. President Barack Obama has signed into law a package of tough sanctions on North Korea through an unusually speedy legislative process focused on concerns over Pyongyang's nuclear and missile programs. Yonhap News reports the North Korea Sanctions and Policy Enhancement Act takes effect immediately and imposes mandatory sanctions on those aiding North Korea's nuclear and missile programs, cyber attacks, and importation of luxury goods. The act also sanctions trade in coal, minerals, and precious metals. The legislation marks the first time both the U.S. House and Senate have passed sanctions exclusively targeting North Korea and took only 37 days to reach the president's desk. And complaints over Chinese tourists in Seoul are increasing. The Korea Times reports following a large increase in Chinese tourism during the recent Lunar New Year holiday. Despite no smoking zones in parts of Myeongdong shopping district and at historic palaces around the city, the amount of Chinese visitors who ignore Seoul's smoking bans have become increasingly noticeable. One member of a palace management office in Seoul says it's not easy to keep the tourists from smoking, and that some tourists shrugged off the prospect of a smoking fine with a, quote, roll of bills. A Junggu district office official says enforcing fines is difficult as payment is only operated with credit or debit cards issued in Korea, and that it's almost impossible to check identification to impose a penalty. The Hanguk Ilbo reports more than 155,000 Chinese tourists visited Korea from February 7th to the 13th, an 18% increase from last year. And this afternoon, we'll see a blend of sun and clouds with a high of 6 degrees Celsius. Then tonight, a low down to -4. Then for tomorrow, partly sunny skies on Saturday, a bit warmer, high up to 7 degrees, and then colder at night, a low down to -6. You can subscribe to the Korean News Update podcast through the iTunes Store or with Android podcasting applications. And for more news, talk radio, and independent music from the Korean Peninsula, visit koreafm.net. I'm Chance Dorland.